Hello there guys, my name is Vtol and welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers. So today's quite special. Reason why is because I've managed to finish the lander from the last days on Mars. Now, before you ask, this thing is Vtol, yes. Reason why is because it is an orbital transport ship. Therefore it transports things from a station of sorts to a planet. So this thing also features I didn't really know what these side things were for, so I've kind of converted them to some sort of protection. So I've given them guns just because I figured that'd make it a little bit more interesting, and they kind of fit quite nicely and work quite nicely on the sides, and I actually quite like the hidden sort of surprise attack element on the ship. So I've got that. I've also taken one of the names, which I could only assume it said Kasajima, because I managed to make out Casa G and then the MA, and there was like a weird line, so I'm guessing that's an I, and it was Kasajima Industries. So that is why that is on the side. It's nothing to do with the DDC, it is just part of what the ship was like on the pictures that I was using to refer to. So some of you guys said in the previous video it's quite chunky. I know it's quite chunky, and that was a slight issue. Trying to get curves into this was very difficult, and even using the curve blocks was pointless because they're only curved over one block, so you can't get like a really nice swooping curve over the course of 5 or 10 blocks. So it just looked stupid, and they're really buggy. So I've managed to use them in ways like under the ship, like you can't really see, but they're under there anyway, giving it a nice curved edge. And they're also used on the front on here, and that, you know, I've tried to use them as best as possible, but that's really the only place I could find to use them. So what we actually have on here is we have back doors. Now these back doors do open like you saw in the starting video, and they have two ways of opening. So a bit like a stable door, they open, well, like a stable door from this way on. It's kind of like you can open up the half on its own, so you can, you know, take people in and out. And then if you need cargo, you can, you know, lower them both at the same time. So I'm just gonna I have to close this one back up and then hit this one, and then they both open at the same time. So I've got keep clear on there just for a bit of, you know, safety. And this also features multiple features that allow for the ship to fly quite quickly without breaking apart under the stress with the rotors, because I've got these hidden in here, which are landing gears, the 2x2 landing gears, and they allow it to sort of attach, and there are all the correct buttons in here to do that. So if I get to this side, the buttons are always on, like the double button is always on the side that has to close first, so just keep that in mind. And then you also have buttons up here to lock it in place. That locks it in place. Now as you can see, those have gone green back there, so when this moves and jitters and shakes, those won't jitter and shake. So in here I've put in a few shelves and just put some random cargo, some dismantled items, and some chests. This is because I only could assume that there was a lot of cargo containers in the ship, and I did see a few in some of the clips because I've been rolling back through some of the clips to try and figure out what went in here, and all I could see was cargo containers. So I had to put a mass assortment of cargo containers and 2 chairs here just for any sort of people who wish to stow in the back with the cargo, just in case. And then we've also got some areas to refuel, so you can basically put stuff in here and it will go through into these larger chests here, and then it will go into the engines. Now the engines are a bit of a funny one. I have got a large amount of power supplied to this anyway, but I've had to put 3 of these extra engines in, which look quite nice actually. They're quite a nice feature to have in the ship. So we've got this, and then you walk through here and you can close this door behind you, you know, sort of lock it off. And then you've got this area here which has the this is where the piston is for, you know, the moving items. So in here, just down here, I've got these blank space. I'm not sure what to fill with these, so I've kind of left them open. But we have these like seating areas here for some, you know, added control to the ship. We also have some boards here that you can put messages on and things, just in case you need to remember anything for, you know, flights there and back. And they sort of added for a bit more, you know, crew storage, which is nice. And then coming up here you have the main control area, which I think is beautiful. The way the windows are done, I've really enjoyed the way I did these windows, because they look beautiful and they just look gorgeous. So here we have light switches for down there, just in case you want to shut the power off to save a bit of power. And then of course we have the main seating area, which this is the main pilot seat, and then you've got the co-pilot seat beside you, and the controls you have here are the landing procedure controls, and you've also got controls over the thrust, because of course the pods have to be turned on and off on the sides for VTOL at certain times when you need them. And then of course I've got the back door controls as well. So that's that one. And then on this seat for the co-pilot we have the gunners, and we have lights, and we also have the doors, because the doors are quite a crucial thing, because if one of these doors opens and the back door's open and you're in an unpressurized environment, you get sucked out. So I've kind of added a thing where you can close the doors, you know, when you need to, rather than allowing the crew to dictate that for you. So you can close the doors whenever you need to as the pilot. So if we jump in here, I'm just going to sort of have a quick demonstration. Before I do, I'm just going to save just to make sure everything's cool. Now, to take off in this thing, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to unlock your landing gears, which is 9. You have to pull up a little bit, and then you're going to have to go 7. And 7 basically means everything moves all at once, and you get the landing gears go in really nice and tidily. You see them a little bit at the front, but you can get away with that. And then of course the Vtol system comes up. So if you hit 8, those lock in place now, so the Vtol system is now locked in place, so it won't break. And also the back door is shut, but if you need to, you can control that as well. So I can unlock the back door and, you know, reseal it if I need to, and once it hits the top I hit lock. Those are locked in place now, so I can move this thing. So that's really cool. It's got some proper procedures with it, and it looks beautiful. I mean, the black and white really do set it off. So let's get up in the air. So this thing does maneuver quite well for a ship of its size, and of course flying is pretty damn fast as well. Now what I've got with the Vtol system is I have a system where the 2 engines that are currently on well, the pods, so there's one engine on each pod, those turn off when the Vtol system is activated. Reason why is those ones are backwards thrusters, so those ones are used for brake. So those turn off as the other ones turn on to allow it to fly a bit quicker. So if I floor it and then I hit 5, as you can see we get a bit more speed. Trouble is it kind of has a bit of an issue with tilting, and we have broken something. So I think I must have pushed it to its limit there, but you kind of get that with rotors and things, and I have broken a few things, but again, most of the time it's stable. It's just typical Space Engineers for you. So just going to back it up all the way over to here, and you can slow it down. So I've probably done a lot of damage to this, but you get the gist. Again, you fly it with precaution more than anything because of all the rotors and pistons. And again, it's more of a aesthetics build than an actual functionality build. So here we go, we've got a bit of damage where the guns are, but everything else is intact, and so is the Vtol system. So that's worked out very nicely. It's just I think maybe I need a way of closing off or gripping the guns on the side to stop them breaking off as well. So that was the demonstration as such of this ship. Again, some people might be put off by the fact that there's too many mods, or some people might be put off by the fact that it still does break, but it's expected with Space Engineers. You just come to learn and love it, and you know, if it does break halfway through a flight, then you know there's obviously a fault in the ship, and you can sort of, you know, play off that and have some fun with it. So that has been the lander from Last Days on Mars. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I hope you guys will, you know, download it and play it and maybe tweak it, maybe make it cooler. If you do, get in touch with me. Just, you know, either send me an email through the channel's email, or just, you know, send me a message through the comments or whatever. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please like, favourite, and of course subscribe and download, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.